But on my beats, they are hard.
Well, hello, good afternoon, greetings. It's the BCSN SportsWrap. I feel like this is the first show of 2025 that you have probably seen me and A.D. Drew together.
It is not.
Feels that way.
It's
not.
We did one.
We did one. We did.
Yes.
When was it? Because I forgot.
Like the first weekend of January, we did a show together. No, New Year's.
New Year's. Oh, that's
yes.
right. That's right.
And then we did one about. We did one when I was in DC, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
For the Howard game.
All right. Between the lack of frequency between us doing the show together and maybe just doing shows, it feels like a long time. So happy Super Bowl Sunday, everybody. Welcome to BCSN Sports Wrap. A.D. Drew and I. Thank you for checking in. Hey, Mary, good to see you. Happy Sunday to you and Emmett Jones getting in early. Thank you. However, and wherever you're watching us, you might be watching us on YouTube or on our Facebook feeds via the Black College Sports Network or the BCSN Sports Wrap. You could be watching us on our Instagram live feed or maybe even watching us on X. We say hello to all of you. And thanks for watching. If you're on any of our feeds with the likes and the thumbs up, go ahead and hit that for us. And we'll go from there. Drew and I were here for a good time, not a long time. As obviously we normally do our show, Drew, during the time when the actual game is going. And I think we both made a good business decision to say we are not doing our show during the Super Bowl. So
that is 100% correct.
Yeah, so that's kind of why we're doing it at this time of the afternoon. So and it's a potpourri. It's a free open forum because sometimes we have well thought out scripted shows. Other times
this is not that day.
Exactly, this is not that day. Although we both have busy schedules this time of the year. Of course, Drew, very super busy guy.
I've only got 6 active sports going at Morehouse right now.
At one time.
At one time.
Right. Well, and I have more than 6.
And let me put that in perspective. I'm light compared to some schools with their crossover between winter sports and spring sports.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. And I am sitting in front of a page full of Super Bowl props, trying to make sure that I pick the right games and the right props and don't overextend myself, Drew, obviously, because moderation is key on this day. And I think I've donated enough to give me a nice little splurge fund. And so I'm splurging today. And so, it is what it is.
And moderation, not only in your wagers, but also moderation at the parties or within your own house, be it the food or be it the beverage or, Bryan, be it the trash talk that you talk.
Oh, yeah.
During this game.
Yes. Remember if you were an Atlanta Falcons fan, boy, you were probably talking a lot of junk in that second half.
And I just want to know how they like their crow, with hot sauce, with ketchup, with mustard, with mayonnaise. It's a couple. There's plenty of ways to eat crow.
Yeah. So we'll go through some of the interesting props that are out there. As more and more people kind of look up and say, "Oh, B and Drew are doing the show. Let me plug in and see what these guys are doing." Maybe I'll get into a little bit of what I'm playing, what I'm looking at today.
I got one for you, Brian.
Yeah, talk to me. Talk to me. I'm open to suggestions.
Bet on the black quarterback.
Well, this. It's funny you say that. Yes, this is the second time that we have had two starting black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. Of course,
ironically, these two.
2 years ago, exactly, in Super Bowl 57, these very two gentlemen, Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, were first time that we had two black quarterbacks. Patrick won, and I think there's probably a large sentiment of people rooting for Jalen Hurts to get his first. I don't know if it's Jalen Hurts to get his first or Saquon Barkley to sort of rubber stamp his season, the 2,000-yard season, the offensive player of the year, that whole thing. Or is it fatigue? What's your take on that whole Chiefs fatigue angle that I keep hearing people talk about? And I think if I hear that one more time, that's going to have to become a drinking game. Because
Brian,
every talking head or radio voice has talked about Chiefs fatigue.
Brian, I'm going to answer that with a bit of an analogy. When I was at my previous institution, a non-HBCU, a white institution working, the athletic director and the president came to me one day and asked me, what is it that we can do to get our students more involved in different activities on campus?
I hear that a lot.
And I politely told him that I am not the person to ask that question to, because my view of college is very scarred, because I graduated from not one, but two HBCUs and have had two HBCU experiences. I say that, Brian, to say I am not the one to ask about Chiefs fatigue, because I have been a Chiefs fan since 1987, when my beloved St. Louis Cardinals became the Phoenix Cardinals, and I had to adopt another NFL team. So that question is not a question that I can fairly answer, Brian.
Did you become, so let me ask this, did you become a Rams fan when the Rams came to St. Louis and then eventually won a Super Bowl in St. Louis?
No. And let me preface that.
Okay.
I was not I followed them when they were in St. Louis. Don't get me wrong. I followed them. But as far as a diehard, I'm gonna wear the gear, buy the gear, make sure I carve out 3 hours on my Sunday afternoon to watch them. No. I still watch the Chiefs first. And actually, my team in the NFC at that point in time were the team that they beat to get to the first Super Bowl, which was the Bucs.
And this made me think about this. Is St. Louis and LA, are they the only two cities that have, I guess, lost and claimed NFL franchises? Like, you've had two different franchises in the history of the city, right?
Baltimore.
You obviously had the Cardinal, multiple franchises, Cardinals,
Baltimore.
Rams.
Baltimore with the Colts and the Ravens.
Yep, Baltimore. Yep. Okay, so Baltimore, St. Louis, Los Angeles. Okay. Yeah. So
yeah. Those those are the three off the top of my head that that I could go with. You probably got some from back in the 30s and 40s, some teams that we don't remember the name of,
Super
like
Bowl
the
era.
Zephyrs and all that kind of
keep
stuff.
Keep it to the Super Bowl era, which would be the last 60 years. Yeah, Emmett says Chicago had the original Cardinals.
Yeah,
but,
we stole them from Chicago, and Phoenix stole them from us.
Okay. Edwin, great comment here. Edwin says he doesn't wear my team for championships if they aren't playing. Well, the only reason I'm wearing this today, because I think today's an exception, Edwin. The exception being if your team has won a Super Bowl, I think you are granted a pass to be able to wear your team's gear on Super Bowl Sunday. I'm paying homage, which just a couple of days ago, right? Like Black History Month, right? A couple of days ago in 2007, Tony Dungy led my Indianapolis Colts and he was the first African American head coach to win a Super Bowl. So I think there's the exception, Edwin. If your team won a Super Bowl, you get a pass for wearing your team's gear on Super Bowl Sunday. Right, exactly. So yes, go wear your Steeler hat. Steelers, Patriots, Cowboys. And when people look at you crazy at the Super Bowl party and say, "Why are you wearing that?" You could say, "Because we won Super Bowls on this day, damn it." Hope your team does. There you go. And end of the day, right? But if you were like a Lions fan, Chargers fan, Browns, you can't wear your gear today because you've never won a Super Bowl.
Jaguars.
You can't win us. You can't. No, you're
Browns.
Yeah, I think I said the Browns. Yeah, I mean, there's Bengals. Yeah, there's another one. Right.
Even the Cardinals.
Yeah. Here's a good question from EA. Does St. Louis and KC have rivalries?
That's kind of tough because between the two cities, there have not been sustained teams within the same major league over a long period of time to establish those rivalries. You got to think about it, Brian. And I'll put a date you on this one. When the Hawks were in St. Louis,
the Hawks,
now Atlanta Hawks, the St. Louis Hawks were in St. Louis up into the 60s.
Yeah.
Kansas City didn't have a team. They were the Omaha Kings, and then they became the Kansas City Kings. But when the Kings moved to Kansas City, the Hawks left and went to Atlanta. So in the NHL, there's never been a real rival. Kansas City has never really had an NHL team. Football, the Cardinals and the Chiefs were really not a rivalry back in the day, although it did draw a little bit when the two happened to play each other. They would play each other annually in a preseason game, but that was never really a rivalry. The Cardinals' big rival at that point in time were the Cowboys. And then obviously when the Rams came to town, the big rival was the 49ers. So, Chiefs and Rams were never a real rivalry. The only possible way that there is a rivalry, Brian, is in baseball. And this obviously goes back to 1985 when St. Louis fans still, to this day, remember the fact that Todd Worrell had the out at first base.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. In the chats, say Cardinals versus Royals in the World Series. Okay. Yeah. Okay. St. Louis and KC are like Houston and Dallas, and Northern Cal and SoCal. No Cal and SoCal. All right.
Yeah. I will say there is one thing in common between St. Louis and KC outside of the barbecue, Brian.
Yeah.
Those are the only two places in the state where they tend to say Missouri instead of Missouri.
I've never said, is that like Louisville and Louisville?
Yes. Or New Orleans and New Orleans.
Oh, Jesus. Let me see. I've always said Missouri. I'm from the Midwest. Is that, how do you say it?
I say Missouri. But when you get between those two cities, going down I-70, a lot of people say Missouri.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Or, as some of us like to call it, misery.
Ooh, now that's a shot fired. Now see that's some trash talk right there.
Self-deprecation. I could do it. You can't.
Exactly. We say you have to be from them parts to be able to say that.
Yes.
All right. Well, for Super Bowl 59, just in case you're not familiar with Roman numerals, imagine. Look, I remember when I was so very recently teaching American government, teaching the Constitution, Bill of Rights, that kind of stuff, right? You get to the amendments, and they're in Roman numerals. I had to literally take 15 minutes out of the class period to explain Roman numerals to kids and how
they don't teach that anymore.
Oh God, no. That the X's, the I's, when the I's are in front or behind the X's, and then of course when you get to 50, they become what? L's. Don't forget the V's now. So you have the V's. I learned about Roman numerals, Drew, thanks to the Super Bowl. I really did. I think so yeah. I mean, and so I would. So
let's see. M is 1,000.
Ooh, I thought it was 100.
Well, what's 1,000?
I don't know. You might be right.
I thought M was 1,000. So what's 100?
I don't know. Well, I lost Drew's signal there. Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, there he is.
Yeah,
right. I lost you for a second.
We'll click on Google and I will somehow hit the exit.
The wrong button.
Yes.
But you know what? You might be right, because where I've seen the M. What's the movie studio that used to always?
C is 100.
Okay.
D is 500. M is 1,000.
Okay. So it's the movie theater that did, I think it was Metro Goldwyn, or one of the movie theaters, like underneath the lion and stuff, they would have the MXC something, anyway. But anyway, I got off topic here. But anyway, the point had to be the Roman numerals, and so of course Super Bowls being synonymous with the Roman numerals, right? And the source, this is Super Bowl L, which is for 50, IX, which is 9. This is 59. And of course, next year will be LX. Right.
Not LAX for those of you all who are flying. LX.
Or to be confused with XL, which was Super Bowl 40. And pop quiz, do you remember what teams or what city for Super Bowl 40? Do you remember? Just quick off the head here.
Was that the one Pittsburgh won in Detroit?
Jerome Bettis in Detroit. Yes, Jerome Bettis. He is.
Who did they beat?
The Seahawks. I think
was that the Cardinals? No, that was the Cardinals.
No,
was that the year they beat the Cardinals?
No.
With Tomlin. When we just saw the touchdown run and all it's some of the greatest plays in Super Bowl history.
I really feel like it was the
Seahawks. With Harrison, not Marvin Harrison.
No, that was in Tampa. That game was in Tampa.
Okay,
I remember that. That game was in Tampa.
Against the Cardinals. That's the one against the Cardinals.
Super Bowl 40 was in. See, and that's another. It's funny when you live through enough of these, you start to just remember maybe you don't remember the score. You don't remember you just remember moments, the location, a certain name, or something like that, right? Yeah. What did Edwin say? We had to learn Roman numerals in school. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Missouri, famous border state during Civil War. Like, yeah, definitely. Hey, matter of fact, we're teaching. I'm in the middle of Civil War period right now. So yes, border states.
Talk about the Dred Scott decision.
Had a kid ask her what was a border state. I was like, damn, really? I don't assume anything, Drew. Don't assume anything.
Brian, they trying to take it out of school. So
take out the Civil War?
We try to whitewash it,
Well, yeah, I don't doubt it.
They guide you down to public school.
Yeah. See, that's the one thing I can say about being at a Christian school is you can't ignore the unchristian like attitude of history, right? That's the one thing you can't escape. So it's like you have to talk about it because it's mixed into the curriculum. It really is. It's kind of, you sometimes going through it, it's like, man, if I were in a public school, we definitely would be talking about this. So yeah, that's one interesting aspect. I put a poll in the chat for those of you on our MyJBN online chat feed. Who do you think's gonna win the Super Bowl? Eagles, Chiefs. Real basic to get us started. Right now, I'm looking at I think 67% right now. They have got the Eagles winning. Yeah. So yeah. Looking at the rosters of these two teams, you know, I think it's always interesting, and we look at it from an HBCU perspective, or even a college perspective. There is only one HBCU player on a roster for the Super Bowl, and that of course Joshua Williams
with KC, Fayetteville State.
Yes, Joshua Williams of Fayetteville State. Wears number 2, cornerback on the defensive side. He is one of 3 Division II players that are maybe I'll say it differently. One of 3 Division II schools represented in the Super Bowl. And did you know there are only 5 schools in total represented from the FCS?
I can believe it.
Yeah, so when you talk about non-FBS football programs, you have 5, 6, 7, you have 8. Any wild guesses which college has the most Power 5 or FBS players represented?
I'm going to take a wild guess, say Alabama.
Alabama is actually 3rd, tied with Florida and Michigan with 4 players.
How about Oklahoma?
Ding, ding, ding. Oklahoma is the number 1 represented school in today's Super Bowl with 7 players from Oklahoma.
Just out of curiosity, who's number 2 since you gave us 1 and 3 and the tie at 3?
It is an SEC school. Georgia.
Yeah. Now, question. You said Oklahoma is 1 and Alabama is tied for 3.
Yes.
Which one of them is claiming Jalen Hurts?
Well, great question. So according to that's a good question. Let's see. I'm going to go to the NCAA. I'm looking at this from the NCAA site, and let's see what the NCAA says in terms of who they are claiming. Oklahoma.
They're claiming Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma.
Okay.
So
I was just curious because he played 3 years at Alabama, 1 year at Oklahoma. We know he finished at Oklahoma, so I was just curious to see if Alabama was still holding on.
Right. It is where he finished. It's where he was drafted, where he finished. You know, I guess all of that goes in for that. Halftime show, Mary 305. Like many people, looking forward to the halftime show. So one of the, I had to go reach into my bag with some of my former students. I had to go to them to kind of find out if they could do some research on TikTok and try to find out what the first song was going to be. And so we had this.
Was this a research project or another?
This was
project
right. This was a postgraduate research. I didn't tell them what it was for. Just a postgraduate research project. I said, "Hey, I need you guys to figure out what's going to be the first song." So I got some great ideas and suggestions. Turns out the word that I heard this morning or earlier afternoon is it's going to be none of the ones that were being listed as a potential play. Like, hold on, let me go to the thread. Let me see here. I love these kids. Love these kids like my nieces. Let me see. So swimming pools was one. Humble. Let me see. Was one of the suggestions. Those were some songs. Turns out it's going to be some song that is, I guess, a new song by Kim. But anyway, a lot of the markets took that prop off the board. Sad part is there were people who actually spent money on that prop earlier in the week. They're just gonna take that L because there's like, no, apparently none of the books except maybe a couple at the last minute, whatever this particular song is that might be played, is there. Now, the other thing that I was worried about the halftime show is, Kendrick Lamar does a song with Taylor Swift called Bad Blood. And I'm like, she's going to be in the building, Drew, right? So I'm like, I know SZA is supposed to be there, but I'm like, how is Taylor Swift not make an appearance during halftime for Bad Blood? And given the fact that this might be the last time that Kendrick or that Travis Kelce plays, I'm also predicting that he retires after this game. We may not see Taylor Swift at a game after today. So it's like my thought is she's going to make an appearance during the halftime show. Okay, Mary said the song is called TV Off. That's the new song. Never heard of it, but okay. So we'll see. But yeah, that market didn't last long.
Yeah. Hey, also, Brian, let's keep in mind that the Human Jukebox will be performing pregame. Southern Human Jukebox will be performing pregame.
Okay, didn't know that. Where will the jukebox be performing? With who?
That I do not remember hearing, but I do know that the jukebox will be performing doing one of the pre-games. I'm assuming on the field doing the pre-game. They always had that 20-30 minutes before they come out with the anthem and all that stuff. So I'm assuming that will be the time that we can catch the box.
Okay. Congratulations to the Human Jukebox. Okay, hold on. I got a story right here, courtesy of HBCU Sports. The famed Southern University Human Jukebox will perform at Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, Louisiana. The band's director, Kendrick Taylor, announced the performance doing a Tuesday appearance on the Jennifer Hudson Show. She said, quote, "This band has been on many platforms, the Super Bowl for 7 times, 3 presidential inauguration parades, the national championship for NCAA basketball. The Human Jukebox most recently performed at the Super Bowl last year in Las Vegas, I believe, right? Was that who did that last year? I don't remember, but anyway. So yeah, the jukebox will be performing. Good for them. Good for the jukebox. All right. Lost Drew again. Must have hit the wrong button. You guys still are in the chat, still overwhelmingly voting for the Eagles. Okay, so maybe I was wrong. I don't even remember year to year. So I guess it was the Sonic Boom that performed last year. All right, so Edwin tells me that Jukebox and the Soul Rebels, I guess that's supposed to be started. Okay. Was that last year or this year? You got to give me some context here. If it wasn't 100, kid, look, if it wasn't 100, I'm sorry. I want to give love to all the HBCU bands that get shine, like Texas Southern performing with Beyonce at the what event was that where she performed the national championship game, and so okay, yes, the Boom did perform last year. All right, so there we go. All right. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Gatorade. Hold on. Last prop question. just a general prop question that's floating around, running around. The Gatorade color, Drew. Gatorade color.
Orange.
Orange, huh?
Orange.
I'm thinking blue. Hold on, let me see if I can pull that prop up and what that prop looks like, because I saw it last night. It's not on a site. It's offshore. It's not on a local site. But let's see what the odds are for the Gatorade. Okay, Super Bowl 59 Gatorade. All right, so right now, the color of liquid poured on a winning coach. Somehow they have combined a yellow, green, or lime at -145. Your orange is +300. My preference of blue is +500. Last Philly win was green. So if you go with that green theory, -145. I thought the last time the Chiefs, last two Kansas City wins was purple. Purple is +450. So, shoot. Let me see if I can get on this live right here on air. Shoot. Let me see. Can I do this? If I can.
And for y'all who don't know, this is sometimes how the conversations go between me and Bryan when we're talking offline. He'll just stop in the middle of the conversation, like, bro, let me see if I can get on this right quick. Let me get some of that action.
Yeah, I'm this is not on another place that I prefer to use. I'm disappointed in that, but whatever. That's the one thing. If you're out there wagering on Super Bowl props, the biggest thing they tell you shop around. The challenge with shopping around, it's not a challenge. It's shopping around. It is what it is. You go to.
It's time consuming.
Yeah, think about your sports books in the same ways as your grocery stores. You've got Walmart, you've got Kroger, you got Winn-Dixie, you got Publix, you got Piggly Wiggly. What else is there in Atlanta, Drew, that I missed?
You about named all of them.
Yeah,
start going to like the big box like BJ's and Costco,
Sam's Club, and you get Sam's Club. Yeah, so imagine I'm looking for macaroni. Jesus, but I need a particular type of macaroni. Man, it may be at store A and B, but it won't be at C. But if you go to D, you can find it, and it'll be a whole lot less than it was at A and B. That's what it's like when you're looking for Super Bowl props. You got it.
In other words, don't take the Dollar General, Family Dollar, Dollar Tree approach to your entertainment.
That would be the equivalent of the guy on the corner. Yeah, that'd be the equivalent of the guy on the corner. Don't mess with him, because you may not see your money if you mess with him. Don't mess with that guy.
To the bookie.
Yes, i.e. the bookie. And Super Bowl squares too. Everyone. I heard someone call them blocks the other day. I never heard them referred to as blocks. Makes sense though, right? Squares, blocks, all the same. But I heard someone refer to it as block, and I swear for the life of me, I had no idea what they were talking. I was like, is this some new game? I'm like, damn, I need to get down on this. It was like, what are blocks? And then I thought about it. When they explained, I said, wait a minute, that's squares. What y'all doing? Calling them blocks.
Exactly. I've never played squares, bro.
Really?
No.
Well, here's the thing with squares, right? Obviously, you pick a square before you even know what the numbers are. And then you wait until like 6 o'clock, and then all of a sudden the numbers get released. And so it's a blind draw as to whether your pick turns into like a 0-0 or a 6-3. I mean, those are the ones that you love to have, right? Because you very likely could, and those are high probability in numbers. I think this particular Super Bowl a couple years ago, 0-0 hit twice. It was either last? No. I think it was last year or 2 years ago. But the guy who had 0-0 hit at the end of the first quarter and into the third quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was a lower scoring game. Well, let me see. Last year, what was the score? Yeah, it was last year because 2 years ago, the score was 38-35 between these two teams. You had over 70 points. So yeah, it was last year, right? Where 0-0. But anyway, the other type of square though is if you buy, like, the numbers are published and you can buy into a certain number, but the numbers cost, like, instead of costing 5, like the 6-3 might cost $2 or $3 more. Because why? That
is most common.
Is a high probability number. I don't know. Tell you, man, any and every way to make a buck, this is the season to do it.
Oh.
All right. Got a couple questions that popped in. Let's take a break and maybe let's get into a little bit of HBCU sports news while we're here. We might as well talk about a few things while we're here.
We talked about everything, but
that's kind of the nature of these kind of shows. But let's take a short break.
Throw some more questions in the chat. Heck, we have no script today.
Yeah.
So help us generate the show. Help us generate the conversation today.
I agree. We're open forum. We're only going until about 5, no later than 5:15. So if we get to 5 o'clock and we are still on the air, I need some of y'all in the chat to say, in the show, pregame, I still have to go to the supermarket and pick up my chicken wings that are being cooked ready for 5:30. So I'm just saying, I can't be here past 5:15.
Hey, Bryan.
Eastern time.
SportsWrap is not a sports wrap until
Chuck Hunt comes in the room. Appreciate you, Chuck.
Now we can take that break.
Now we can take the break. All right. Appreciate everybody for coming in and joining the show. Apologize for my little cough, but it's just going to be one of those days today. This is Bryan and A.D. You're watching the BCSN SportsWrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. We will be back in just a moment.
Planning an event? From weddings to corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC brings over 15 years of experience to make your vision a reality. Based in Metro Atlanta and serving statewide, even internationally, we provide versatile event planning and authentic catering cuisines tailored to your needs. Whether it's pre-game meals for student athletes, fundraisers, weddings, corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC is your one-stop solution for exceptional service and unforgettable food. Our diverse culinary heritage means we cater to all cultural tastes, dietary needs, and food restrictions, making every meal uniquely yours. Let's make your next event unforgettable. Visit us on all social media at CMJ Events LLC or email us at cmjeventsllc@gmail.com. Also give us a call at 404-664-3882 so that we can start planning now.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU Sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Bryan, A.D., Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
are on sale now for the 4th annual NBA HBCU Classic presented by AT&T, featuring Morehouse College and Tuskegee University. Don't miss this action-packed event happening at NBA All-Star 2025 and filled with competitive matchup and marching band performances celebrating HBCU pride. See you in the Bay.
Well, talk about seeing you in the Bay. Welcome back to the BCSN Sports Wrap. Bryan and A.D here. Somebody on this screen, one of these two windows, will be attending that event this time next weekend. Wonder who it'll be.
Might be the man who works for one of the teams that are playing in this event. Yeah, you point the right way. At least on my screen.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the...
Before I talk about that, Bryan, boy,
Yeah.
the producer went back into the Wayback Machine. One of those ads in that block.
Ooh, did they? Yeah. I saw a new one, then I saw a real classic one in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it have his old? I didn't even look. Did it have his old title in there?
I didn't even pay attention.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, what was your question, Bryan? About
Well, I was going to ask you, how is planning going as Morehouse prepares to travel west? Tell us, how to schedule. Give us the elevator pitch. Like if we were going up a 10 flights. Give us the elevator pitch on what the travel is going to be like, the itinerary as Morehouse prepares to take on Tuskegee. So you got a lot of love. Your current school, your former school, all SIC action.
Well, I'll start off with we will be traveling out on Thursday for the event. NBA has us a full schedule for us. Once we get out there, we're going to have a total NBA experience. Thursday, we will get to go to. We fly in. We'll have practice. We'll have practice on Thursday, and I believe that's going to be a bulk of that. Just getting acclimated to the time zone difference. Friday morning shoot around. Then we have some obligations, some charity functions that we have to do, and some appearances, photo shoots on Friday. Friday night, we will be at the celebrity game. Yeah, that pretty much is the summary of Friday. Obviously, Saturday being game day, there'll be some events for the fans on all 3 days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for both the alums of Morehouse and of Tuskegee. And for non-alums, but Saturday is going to be a football-like atmosphere. That's what they're trying to do with tailgating in the parking lot and things that you traditionally see around HBCU athletics of this kind. Game will be at 2 o'clock local time. That's 5 o'clock Eastern time. Game is available on ESPN, NBA TV, and TNT. I know Grant Hill is on the call. I can't remember who the play-by-play person is on the call. I have had to get a lot of information to both of them so that they are prepared for a quality broadcast. And sidebar, of course, the guy who is the producer for the game, who's Grant Hill's person who gets his notes and everything together. He said. Thank you for all the notes that you sent over, but I hope we don't get to use most of them because the deeper we go into these notes, that means the less competitive that the game is.
Exactly.
So
you have probably overloaded. You have probably overloaded them with more stuff than they hope to even be able to use.
Right. And then they're asking questions. And the funny thing about it, Bryan, because I do have the Tuskegee history, I am actually able to give him as many notes on the other side of the ledger as on our side of the ledger. So
are you staying on your side of the fence, or are you sharing over there as well?
What you mean when you say sharing? Like,
well, like you just said, you know the Tuskegee history just as well as you are learning the Morehouse history.
Right. And some of the Tuskegee history, because I've been a part of
Right.
of
were
some
there.
of that history. So
Yeah.
I have been able to share some of that, some of the championship teams and everything with Tuskegee. I was part of the last championship run there at Tuskegee. That's a sore subject right now. Somehow they missed our 15-year anniversary of our 2010 championship team. But I digress. I'm not gonna talk about my. But they honored the 2014 team this year. You know,
It's
I
true.
believe you you
Do
honored
you
the
celebrate 15? I
at the
thought
end
it was
of the run.
you celebrate
I thought
5.
the started the run.
Drew, do you really celebrate 50? I understand 5. I get 10. I understand 20 and 25. But do you really celebrate 15?
Well, Brian, in this case, you should because 10 occurred during COVID. So we never got 10.
Ah, okay. Okay.
So
Fair point then. Fair point.
it's time we should be making that one up with this particular one. And technically, Brian, this is the 11th year for the 2014 team. Because they won it in 2014. That means you should have celebrated in the 23-24 season. We won in the 9-10 season, which means we should have been celebrating in the 24-25 season.
Whose role? Who do you think? Who do you? Okay, hold on. This is my next question. Who should? And you know, you don't have to name names or you don't have to get anyone in trouble. But who do you think should be responsible for recognizing those anniversary teams like that?
Well, number one, the alums who made the history should be a part of it, and a part of the planning process. And they should alert the. No, I'm not. No. This is my show. Get your own podcast. No, but the ones who make the history should send a reminder to the people who are in power at said institution and remind them of that particular team and their accomplishments. Then within there, I mean, between sports information, athletic director, the current coach, uh, they should get together. And also, Brian, I'm going to take this one step further, and then I'm gonna get off this subject. Not only this is the 15 year of the 2009-2010 championship team, but it is also the 35th anniversary. Oh no, excuse me, the 45th anniversary of the 79-80 team, which also won and made it to the NC2As. So
Are
that
you
was
celebrating that team?
no. Those two teams should have been celebrated just because of the time, and there could have been a joint celebration, especially when you think about the 45-year one. And I'm gonna say this unselfishly, we need to celebrate that 45-year one because those people are getting shorter in their tenure and may not be around for the 50.
I was gonna say trying to hold out for the 50. I mean, that's asking. You might be asking a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Well, come on.
Is this
Ruffin.
the expectation for every championship in every sport? For me, yes. I think it is because championships are hard.
Yes, they
winning
are.
Winning a conference championship is hard. Winning a national championship is even harder. So to do that while balancing the rigors of academia for your institution, yeah, there should be a thing. And let's think about this from a business point of view, Brian. We're talking 15 years for the team that I was a part of, 45 years for the other team that would have been on that cycle. You want to raise some money for your athletic program? Celebrate these teams. Number one, you're gonna tend to get more people at the gate for these type of celebrations. But then, well, probably just as important, Brian, those people who were a part of those teams might be making $1 or $2 now. They probably paid back their student loans, and when former athletes, alums, especially those who are well off, see how good their program is doing, they want to give. When they see some the needs of some of the programs, they want to give. So these type of celebrations should occur. I'm off my soapbox. Get it back to the NBA Classic, Brian. That's what this whole conversation started.
That's where we started. Right.
That's where we started, but that is not where we wound up going. Now we went down a rabbit hole I wasn't supposed to go down. Anyway, after the All-Star game, after the HBCU NBA All-Star Classic, once again that you can watch on TNT, NBA TV, or ESPN, then we will go to the All-Star Saturday night and get to participate in the All-Star Saturday night. And from there, Sunday is another appearance in the morning. Can't exactly remember what that appearance is, but I know that occurs at like 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. And then we'll be at the All-Star game, but then we fly back out first thing Monday morning. And now let's go down.
More?
Oh, there's more. But because of scheduling and other things, both Tuskegee and Morehouse have to fly back Monday and play a conference basketball game on Tuesday.
Okay, so just in case you didn't know, and I will admit I'm that person. What are the standings looking like for Tuskegee and Morehouse heading into this contest? Well, for Morehouse, currently sitting at 10-5 in the East Division, one game behind a tie for first amongst Edward Waters,
but 3 teams
Albany State. Yeah, Edward Waters, Albany, and Clark all sitting one game in front of Morehouse, who is 10-5, 13-10 overall.
And Brian, that logjam will start to clear itself on Monday night as Clark Atlanta and Albany State go heads up Monday night.
All right. How has Morehouse fared against those 3 teams?
We split with Albany State. We just defeated Albany State in overtime on Saturday at their place after they defeated us in overtime at our place 2 weeks 2 weeks prior.
Wow.
Yes. So
can't wait to see that matchup in the SIC tournament.
A lot of free basketball between those 2 institutions.
Right.
We lost to Edward Waters and we defeated Clark. And we still have the return when we return from Oakland, we will play Edward Waters on Tuesday the 18th. And then we will play Clark Atlanta on Saturday the 22nd. The Big Cat Hardwood Classic. Get your tickets, get them early, get them online at morehouseathletics.com. Guaranteed sell out. One of the best atmospheres you will get in HBCU basketball, especially on the Division II level. Expecting well over 6,000 people to be in attendance there at Forbes Arena.
Wow. And for Tuskegee, they are in second place in the West, but a distant second place at 8-7.
The West is done.
Play.
The West is over.
Miles is 14-1. Best record overall. It's over. Is that what you're saying? Prediction?
They officially wrapped up the West yesterday when they defeated Tuskegee at Tuskegee on yesterday.
Wow.
But that 14-1 by Miles.
Are they legit? Is this Miles' team? Is this legit?
Well, Brian, think about who gave him the one.
Morehouse did? Okay. There you go. All right.
Yes. And just want to throw this out. Coach Douglas Whitler of Morehouse is trying to win his 4th consecutive Eastern Division title, regular season title.
It's time to move away from the divisions, isn't it, in the SIC basketball, isn't it?
It's tough because of the travel and the number of teams that are in the SIAC. For those in the SIAC East, Brian, we love the division.
I'm sure.
You got to think about it.
Sure.
You got to think. I mean, no, seriously, think about it. You have 5 institutions in the state of Georgia in our division, 2 in South Carolina who are in the same city, and then at Waters. So for the Eastern teams, everybody near say Ever Waters is within a 3.5 hour radius. Most of them are within 2. Fort Valley is less than 2 hours. Obviously, we got that school down the road, down the boulevard. Fort Valley, Albany State is 3.5. Savannah State is 3.5. Benedict and Allen are right at 3 hours. The only outlier out there really is Ever Waters, which is at about 5-ish or so, 5.5. So for us, we're good.
All right. Just a quick glance over on the women's side, not to stay too long on it, but Clark is in first place over on the East with a 10-3 conference record, 17-5 overall. Over on the West, Tuskegee and Miles have a 10-4 conference record. Tuskegee with a 13-8 overall record, and Miles with a 13-6 overall record. So just to make sure that the ladies get a little bit of attention as well. Before we jump over there, question from Emmett. What did it say? Morehouse having I don't know. Did you answer this question? Morehouse having a decent season. You're on a 4-game winning streak, and you all played some pretty good games in conference. So
yeah,
give you guys some love.
Actually, if you look at Morehouse, most of Morehouse basketball games, most of our games are 2-possession games or less. Mm-hmm. And that's win or lose, Brian. We have rarely blown anybody out and have not been blown out all season. I think we've only lost 1 game by double digits all season, Brian. And that was in the non-conference portion of the season.
Emmett also kind of wanted your thoughts on what's your we talked about it just a little bit there, but anything else you want to add about just SIC basketball in general? Where is that? Just let people know where is the tournament again, just in case someone forgot, because it is this month.
Tournament will be March 5 through 8 at Forbes Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. If that sounds familiar, that is the home basketball venue of the Morehouse Maroon Tigers. So it'll be 5 through 8. Taking a new format in the tournament this year. All right, let me see if I can explain this for everybody.
Please do.
Brian.
New format. All right, please explain this.
Okay. On Saturday, March 1st, there will be opening round or play-in games, however you want to determine or call them, Brian. Mm-hmm. Seeds 1 East, 1 West, and when I'm saying this, I'm talking men and women, will get the bye. 2, 3, and 4 East will play 5, 6, and 7 East at the site of the higher seed. So 2 plays 7 at 2 site, 3 plays 6 at 3 site, 4 plays 5 at 4 site. On the men's side, team number 8, go ahead and do what you got to do. Go get ready for baseball season. So team or softball season. Team number 8, men will not make it into the play-in round. So, and the same thing will occur on the west side. This is both in the men's and the women's bracket. From there, the 4 winners from the East, the number 1 seed with the bye, plus the 3 play-in game winners will cross over with the 4 from the West on day 1 in Atlanta. So in theory, that's when you should have your 1 East versus your 4 West game, Brian. And one question that I asked, a lot of people asked me, was, will there be reseeding? Let's say from some strange reason, number 7 defeats number 2 in the play-in. No, that line will hold true. So the winner on that 2-7 line will advance on that same line to Atlanta. You won't see a reseeding once you get to Atlanta. And then you'll have 4 games each day, Wednesday through Friday, with the 2 championship games on Saturday. For more information on the SIAC basketball tournament, you can go to SIACATL.com. Once again, SIACATL.com.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And yes, Edwin, who was it? Who asked the question? Yes, I knew where Muhammad Ali was from. Louisville. Did know that. Thanks for recognizing, though, that this frame, if you remember a couple of shows ago, or maybe if you catch the shows on Wednesday, I normally have another photo, a picture of Kobe and Shaq. Those are original drawings. I'm actually looking to move those pictures, Drew. Matter of fact, this is the Kobe and Shaq. See? Kobe and Shaq. Trying to get the glare out of the way. Yeah. But I'm trying to move these. So if I'm gonna be posting something online trying to move them. I love Ali, love Kobe and Shaq, but I'm sure someone else might appreciate it a little bit more in their man cave or, in their office.
And you'd appreciate the cash.
Thank you. At the end of the day, that's
all right, Brian. Matters. 15 minutes to the top.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I need your help with. Here, I'm just putting this play in right now. Need some opinions on it. I'm going with I'm looking at the Eagles team total over 23.5. Okay. Juiced at -125. I'm also playing the over in the total points, 48.5. Over 48.5. I'm also playing Harrison Butker, the field goal kicker for the Chiefs, over 1.5 field goals. And then Patrick Mahomes to throw over 1.5 touchdowns. So combine that parlay, it's +400. Need your guys.
That's it.
I'm going to stop at 4 because there is an exponential
+400. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's
what I mean. That's it.
Now let me see. All of them are. Let me see. So what it is the Butker and Mahomes are highly juiced. Like Butker is -190, the Mahomes is -160.
That's what's killing you.
Yeah, but I mean, plus if I spend $5, so I mean $5. I mean, what? That's 25. That's a $20. That's $20 going into.
Here's one that I would look at, Brian.
I'm listening.
Do they have one for Saquon with a run over 50 yards?
Man, I would play the under on the longest run. I don't. You realize? Okay, so I found a great stat. So
now,
it's not
Kansas City has not given up 100 yards to a rusher.
Thank you. But
Saquon is a home run hitter.
Yeah, but Drew, hold on. Here's the let me see. Where is that prop? Because I know what you're saying about the whole Saquon rushing thing. I can't find longest rushing yard, but so I think the number that I heard out there was like 26.5 for his longest rush. The Chiefs,
his longest rush for the day is 26.5.
Longest run over under 26. And most people are taking the under. Like the sharps that I listen to are taking the under. And here's what they keep saying: the Chiefs defense, Spagnuolo, he's only that. First off, the total yards, they're playing the under because the Chiefs haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher.
I can see that, but I can see
the longest. Let me finish because I think I lost my train of thought there. The longest rush prop, it's only happened 3 times all season to what you would call non-running back ones, right? And I think they said it's a total of 8 times all season. 3 of them were by running backs, and the other ones were to quarterbacks. Like 4 or 5 have come by quarterbacks over 20, 25 yards. But Only 3 running backs have hit that number all season against the Chiefs, and that's a lot of snaps. I just don't. I just can't play that. I don't have that option, and I'm glad I don't. But I would play the under if I had it. So what do you say?
Give it a prop again.
So the prop was, hold on, I'm gonna read it here because I wrote it somewhere. Saquon Barkley, longest rush. And I think the number was floating out there 20, 25, 26. Something like that.
I thought we were talking about the parlay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So the parlay again, four play. Now, originally I had Eagles team total over 23.5. And the total of the game over 48.5. That by itself is plus 140. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thirsty. I want a little more. So I added Harrison Butker over 1.5, which is minus 190. That pumps it up to plus 275. Then if I add up our guy, Patrick Mahomes, passing touchdowns over 1.5, which is minus 160, it juices the 4-bet parlay to plus 400.
I would go for it.
All right, $5 in.
Yeah.
Hit the button. Bang. There we go.
I will say this for those who are out there listening to us. If you do not do this on a regular basis, today is not the day. Because
no.
you people tend to bet with their heart and not their head.
But I will say you can have, and that's a good point, Drew, because I have been listening to people talk about these for 2 weeks. And
that's the head part.
Yes. Here's the one thing about that. As all these guys who I listen to that have been talking about this, to a man, they will say, have a budget. So you can't go in, either you go in with maybe $50, $100, and at the same time, then you say, what am I going to put down? So I have a mix of some that I'm playing just straight by themselves, and we'll go over my entire catalog here in a minute. And then there are some that I'm playing as parlays, just for S's and giggles, right? Just to see what happens. And then what I need to do, Drew, is I have to leave myself some room because there might be some interesting in-game plays that you got to take advantage of. So the one I'm still trying to find, because the menu is so ridiculous, Drew. The last one that I'm trying to find. Okay, here's this one. Now, this is a first half winner in-game result. Okay, so this is like you got to get both sides of the coin right on this one. So for the Eagles, I'm thinking the Eagles win the first half. The Chiefs win the game. The number is plus 550. If I go tie first half and either the Chiefs or the Eagles to win, both of them are plus 1,600.
You say 16?
16 to 1.
Can I be honest with you, Brian?
That sounds like a good play, yes?
I'm playing both.
Thank you. I was too. I was thinking both. Play the tie, first half tie, and then what?
I'm not playing as much on the tie because the return is bigger, so I yield more. But on the other one, I might play a little bit more on the Eagles at half and Chiefs to win.
Right. And the bad part is, Drew, there's no way to this is the one thing I will suggest these apps. These apps need to have like a star. Like if you know how like if you see something and like if you want to come back to it, you should be able to build up a star.
You gotta do it right then and there.
And see, no, I hate doing that. I can't do that. I have to look at it and I need to think about it and then come back.
Brian,
but
don't
I can't
you
find
don't you think Don't you think they know
They
this?
know that.
Right. And
Okay,
they
here
want
I
you to go
found it.
ahead and impulse shop.
I found it under game specials. Okay, so let's see. A tie first half Eagles win plus 1,600. $3 wins $50.
Well, that's a no-brainer.
$5 pays out $85. So it's like I almost have to play the $3, right? It's like you just got to play a tie with somebody winning the second half.
Yes.
Yeah, I just have to. I have to do that. I mean, it's $3. You know, that's candy. It's candy. You know. So
You can't even get a carton of eggs for that right now.
Thank you. I was just looking in the supermarket today, and I was looking at the price of eggs, and I'm like, damn, $6. I'm like, I don't normally shop for eggs, but that just seems high.
Hey, you know what you're going to start seeing go up real soon, if it already hasn't?
What's that?
The price of egg products like mayonnaise and stuff like that is going to start rising.
Wow. All right. So with that means I'm off of my Eagles. I'm not going to play the Eagles first half, Chiefs second. I'm not going to do that since I played both the tie with somebody to win. So if we end up with a tie, Drew, and I'm screaming at, I'm just going to be, I'm sitting on a win there.
Okay.
Defensive touchdowns. Do you think anybody gets a defensive touchdown?
Say again?
Defensive touchdown. Anybody get a defensive touchdown?
Nah.
Nope.
Nah.
All right. Total. Oh, here it is. Total field goals made. Over 3.5 is plus 125. I don't know how this doesn't. That to me, I feel like that's a gimme. I feel like I have to add that just because I have to add that on as a same game parlay with something else.
So in other words, you expect a lot of bend, but don't break defense between the two teams.
I think you have two very good defenses. I think you totally get a bend but don't break kind of game. Yeah. So I just got to figure out what else I can parlay it with. I don't want to play it by itself. Plus 125. That seems kind of weak. Total touchdowns over. That's nothing. Some of these other ones, like I always wonder, is like you might as well play the coin toss. Like first team. No, hold on. Last team to score, excluding overtime. I don't understand why you would ever play that. Excluding overtime. So it's like, what are you really saying?
Either garbage time touchdown or a comeback victory.
That's so random, though. So random. All right. We'll come back to some more. Oh, I just thought of this. Super Bowl MVP. Okay. Now, here's the market, Drew. The market. I think you'll appreciate this. Super Bowl MVP. Obviously who would you imagine to be the top three guys?
I don't know by numbers, but I know Mahomes is going to be on the list.
Right.
Hurts is going to be on the list.
Right.
Saquon is going to be on the list. Possibly Travis. Those are probably your top four candidates right there.
Exactly. Bingo, bingo, bingo. Those are the top ones right there. Okay. So Patrick Mahomes is right now plus 110. That has dropped. It was at like plus 125 earlier. Saquon Barkley plus 250. Jalen Hurts plus 300. So essentially that's 2.5 to 1 or 3 to 1, right?
Right.
Here's the two that I played. Travis Kelce plus 1,500. That's 15 to 1. 15 to 1. Travis Kelce, right? And then on the Eagles, Devontae Smith, 60 to 1. if it ain't Hurts, or I don't know, Drew. Now, the other one that might be crazy here, Dallas Goedert is 100 to 1. And my thought process is if the Eagles win and if it ain't Barkley, if it ain't Jalen Hurts, I think it's going to be one of two people. Goddard or Devontae Smith. And that means those two dudes have scored a couple of touchdowns. That's all it would take, really, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would more apt to go with Goddard over Devontae.
Say no more. It's done. Damn. All right, there it is. $4 down. All right. Damn, 100 to 1. That's crazy. Imagine if he got a couple of touchdowns early. Oh my God. The O-line and D-line. You know what? That was interesting because speaking of, there are some interest, it's such a crapshoot with those guys. Like you would like to think that all the defensive guys are wild cards. I mean, like, who's going to get a sack? Who's going to, you got the Jalen Carter. Yeah, who's going to get it? I mean, that's so random. I don't even know how you predict that. It's just wild. No telling where that can go.
Well, it's tough for a non-quarterback to win it anyway. So,
right, it is. All right, so here's my ticket. I think I'm going to pause now. I think this is a good place where I need to stop,
especially because it's 5-on-1.
I just noticed that. Okay, so here's what I've got. I got first touchdown score. I got Kareem Hunt plus 700. $5, little pizza money. Not even pizza money. More like a cheeseburger off the dollar menu. No, stuff's not $1 anymore, right? So I got Kareem Hunt first touchdown score. I'm running a 5-bet parlay here. Chiefs players. I got Mahomes over 30.5 rushing yards. Samaje Perine over 7.5 receiving yards. Harrison Butker over 1.5 field goals. George Karlaftis with a sack over 0.5. And Xavier Worthy over 5.5 rush yards. I'm going for a jet sweep. I need a jet sweep for Worthy to come up with a 10-yard jet sweep to get me on there, right? Plus 1,500 on that parlay right there, Drew. 15 to 1. All right. Dallas Goedert. Any Goddard anytime touchdown plus 240. Another 3-bet parlay here. This is a touchdown prop. Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown. Travis Kelce anytime touchdown plus 500. DeAndre Hopkins anytime touchdown plus 400. Drew. I'm thinking it might be his last game. Get the guy some run, right? Devontae Smith over 4.5 receptions minus 105. That's one of my more confident plays, right? Dallas Goedert to record 25 plus receiving yards in each half plus 260. Devontae Smith to record 25 plus receiving yards in each half plus 300. Over total field goals in the game, over 3.5, playing that at plus 125. See, I think that's a bet I might have just duplicated. I got to check that. I got a Dallas Goedert parlay over 50.5 receptions, over 4.5 receptions, and a touchdown plus 425. The game to go to overtime plus 800. We already talked about my 4-bet, and then everything else we talked about. Anything else I should be looking at, trying to find last minute, Drew?
I think we got them all, man.
I think I've covered everything that I wanted to. Did I get the over first half total field goals? Over 2.5 is plus 250. I lost Drew. What'd you say, Edwin? I hope I don't get a job where. Yeah, well, when I do move to Vegas, Edwin, when I do move to wait a minute. Oh, he's talking about cheerleaders. I thought I hit this one right here. That was EA said that. I hope I don't move to the Clark County. When I move to Vegas, EA, it's the work in that industry, honestly. It's kind of a long time. It's a fascination. It's like some people want to go work in the stock market. I'm fascinated at how money moves. And being able to talk about money moving and do it surrounding a sports industry that you love, I'm fascinated by. I'm fascinated by the merge of data and motivation. Because really, at the end of the day, Drew, this is all random. This is random as S. Right? You could, it's probabilities. You could look, there are metrics that show you there are trends and metrics, but at the end of the day, Drew, we know sports. Do we really know the motivation of guys? Like, there are certain times when you can play off the motivations in some unfair situations, right? Like if a guy is sick, or there's or a guy is returning to a place that did him wrong. Oh, he's extra motivated to play, right? But that can only go so far. That can only really carry you so far, right? Actually, Edwin, which brings me to what I'm really excited about, and we'll talk about this on another show. I'm really excited about Jackson State and Grambling playing in the Las Vegas Classic. Because one of the things that I've maintained, Drew, that in our world, for the HBCU sports to really go up a level, money has to move on those games. Money has to move on those games, but not just eyes, but money.
The money start moving will bring eyes to it.
Yes. Yes.
How many people are actually watching sports for the sport like we do?
I think that number has gone down because now there are 40 states where gambling is legal. It's no longer like people hiding in the dark making bets with a guy named Jimmy
at the corner bar.
At the end of the bar. Right. Yeah. No, it's out there, it's legal. It still has negative connotations, as we've seen the story hit North Carolina A&T. There's still those kind of things. But put it like this, that stuff has always existed. So now more of being able to catch the situation that happened with the various schools and various you can catch that stuff a lot faster now because the stuff is out in the open.
Yeah, but
pro athletes and college athletes are dumb. They do dumb stuff. They make dumb bets and dumb decisions, and they always get caught. Like, they may have a run for a little while, but guess what? Like, we've seen, like the kid from the NBA, the guy from the NBA who got banned from the league, right? Here's a guy who's making six figures playing ball. He's gambling, what?
$50
bets. Are you kidding me? Dude, you lost a career because so what were you going to say, Drew? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I would say. That's the one thing, especially since we're talking HBCU sports, that our student athletes have to be careful about, because we've all seen the point shaving scandals throughout college sports history. So, especially with the NIL stuff out here and everything else, it's just one more thing that you have to worry about with these student athletes. But Bryan, it's about time for us to pick up this show and get out of here if you're gonna get the wings on time. So let's get into our closing comments and our closing thoughts.
All right, closing comments, closing thoughts. You want to start, or you want me to start?
Actually, I am so excited about what I am going to be partaking in this particular week with the HBCU NBA Classic there in Oakland. So I will be popping up. I will do my best to pop up on the various shows throughout the week that we have going on here on the Black College Sports Network to be able to give you guys updates. Also, we will have fresh content from our various locations on the Maroon Tigers athletic page. That's morehouseathletics.com. I'm having actually, Brian, I think the biggest thing for me, I have a group of students who are going under my auspices to cover this game.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them work for me directly. Some of them work for the journalism department at Morehouse College, and we've made this a collaborative effort to make sure that we not only capture the experiences, but get these students real world experience to open up these opportunities. You know, we're going to have two students who are embedded in our program as beat reporters.
Okay.
So
Nice.
they'll get those experience. I have a couple of students who will be going representing for our Maroon Tiger Sports Network, which is our streaming arm for our Morehouse Athletics, who will be producing, writing, and doing different things related to our Maroon Tigers Sports Network. There's another set of students who are going from Morehouse who will be covering this as traditional journalists from the not only covering the HBCU Classic, but the NBA All Star Game as a traditional journalist would do for USA Today or ESPN or Sports Illustrated or something like that. So to be able to do this, and then obviously the student athlete experience, Brian, you know, all I can say is I saw what the menu was for some of our meals because they sent it to the coach, and you know these are the things that you can do. You get your choice of these and your choice of these. And oh my God, I just wish I would have been 6 inches taller, Brian, and to go along with everything else, and just to have the opportunity to take part in that and that experience and everything. Flying out here to San Francisco, you know, gonna be tired moving around, but it's definitely going to be worth it. And hope that this experience does not stop us from our ultimate goal, which is not the regular season championship. We've already done that 3 times in a row. 4 is good, but it's time for a tournament championship for
Time
the
to win a
Maroon Tigers.
championship.
Time to advance to the NCAAs via the tournament.
Edwin asked me how shocked am I that you're actually doing broadcasts in suits. You're doing suits. You're wearing suits, Drew.
I if I am on the air out there, I will be doing some stuff in suits, where because you know everything out there we have to do minimum business casual.
Right.
When we're doing it. Now the players will be able to wear their travel suits for certain things, but there are times when they're gonna have to get out those sweatsuits and get into business casual. Maybe even have to put on a tie. So it's good for them getting those experience. You may catch me on the air. Haven't confirmed whether I will be doing radio from there during the game. So I may actually be on the radio broadcast for the game. Myself possibly joining Charles Ward of Tuskegee for a radio broadcast of the game.
Okay. Well, I will say this, Edwin. The fact that A.D. Drew is first and foremost a graduate of one of the greatest business schools in Florida, in the Southeast, in the nation, the School of Business and Industry at Florida A&M University. Shout out, rest in peace, D. Mobley. I'm not surprised that he wears a suit. That's all, that just came with the territory.
bruh, Tuesday and Thursday, go in the form, walking them hills in that 98-degree weather in them hard bottom shoes. And Brian, what was the most important rule? You cannot relax your jacket.
Yeah.
So
Look,
me putting
yeah,
on a suit and tie is nothing new.
it's nothing
But
new.
now
Nothing new.
I wear it because I want to, not because I
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah. And so that part doesn't surprise me.
Nah,
And
no
honestly,
cardigan, Edwin,
no
no
cardigans.
cardigan,
No cardigans. No
no
cardigans.
cardigan.
Give them a couple more years though, Edwin. Give them a couple more years. You know, they might have to. They might get it. But
That
yeah,
hasn't worn off on me yet.
I guess hey, I'm proud of Drew. I'm happy that he is. I'm glad he is. Most importantly, that he is somewhere where he is appreciated, because Drew knows his stuff. He knows his ish, and he will make your department, your program better if he's allowed to work. And so that's what I'm happy that, and that's what I can only hope for all my friends, is that you are somewhere where you are appreciated and respected. And so I think, and I hope, and I pray that is continuing and just continues to grow for Drew at Morehouse. So yeah, there's that.
I appreciate that, man. Really do.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I will close with my final word and say shout out to Coach Patrick Crary and the Florida A&M University men's basketball program. They went to Houston last night, got their third consecutive SWAC road win. 2 weeks ago, they went down to the SIP, took two from Alcorn and Jackson. Then last night, we went to Texas, take on Texas Southern, and got a win, dramatic fashion. What a game. What a game it was. Enjoyed watching the broadcast on Texas Southern Athletics YouTube. They even left the chat open, Drew, which that that been chaos in the chat room. But it was fun. You had a lot of Rattlers, a lot of Tigers, and then some other HBCU folk in there. Of course, some JSU trolls were in there. They were in there. But man, shout out to the Rattlers for getting the win. And hey, what do you know, Drew? What do you know? A report came out via Rattler Nation blogspot, that the FAMU Board of Trustees is having a meeting, probably their regularly scheduled Wednesday meeting, monthly meeting, happening this Wednesday, that apparently, and I know A.D. Angela Suggs, has been working to make this happen, but it appears now the momentum of the moment has finally going to get the Board of Trustees, hopefully, to approve the contract extension, not necessarily the 3 years, but the 2 years that were part of the original 3 years, with some additionals onto Coach Crary's contract. And so I pray that no other shenanigans or foolishness happens, and that our board realizes that, yes, this was a good hire. You may have had disagreements by the person who made the hire, but it was a great hire. And what he's doing at FAMU for our men's basketball program, what the team is doing, is excellent. Rattler Nation's excited. Still have to do some work in Tallahassee, but I know the Rattlers are there. I know the students are there. That's why I chuckled when you talk about somebody asking you how to get the students involved. Look, $1 million question. I don't know if it's the Greek organization, student government, but I know I saw Texas Southern do something which I thought was great. At halftime, and Doc, you can speak on this, maybe mention this on Tuesday. They had invited every student who got who made the honor roll. And I'm telling you, the court at halftime was full of students, Drew. Had to be about 400 plus. Now, I think they said there's over 1,000 students made it. So I don't think there was 1,000 students, but if there were 200, 300, 400 students on the court, which it looked like there were, hey, guess what? They were there for the game. A great women's game, as Doc said, between FAMU and Texas Southern. Shout out to Coach Skeet. Texas Southern, they still unbeaten, okay, in the SWAC. And then they stayed for a good men's game. That's the kind of stuff that draws people. So I think every school is challenged with trying to get, it sounds weird to say, you're challenged with getting students to come attend non-football games. And whether it's because either they don't know about it or they don't maybe know the players or don't have an interest, I don't know what it is, but something, you got to continue the marketing efforts, the
And
great
it's not
organizations.
because they don't win, because a lot of these programs are winning.
Yeah, they are winning. So there's a strange apathy among over half of the student body as it relates to athletics and the athletic programs, non-football, right? But that's a bigger issue, bigger story, bigger conversation. So I'll keep it back and say, I pray the Board of Trustees does approve the contract and that Coach Query and FAMU, we got a good squad. We're coming, and it's fun to see FAMU basketball winning. And we play Prairie View on Monday night. I'll get a chance to watch that on the Prairie View YouTube feed. So shout out to Prairie View and Texas Southern, making their broadcast accessible to every and anybody who wants to watch. And the broadcasters, hey, I know some people hate the home team homer broadcast, but I love it. I love it, Drew. I do, because it's fun listening to guys who love. I'm talking, there's one thing. When you love your university and your program, it comes out in the broadcast. Sometimes it can get a little loose, and some people might say, "Oh, it's not professional." Damn that! It's your broadcast. This ain't a national broadcast. It's not even a regional. It is the Texas Southern broadcast, the Prairie View A&M broadcast. Talk your mess. Talk about the girls and the players, the guys that you know. They know those kids better than anyone else. Let them talk, and then we'll just watch and enjoy. And when they lose, we'll be like, y'all lost. If they win, they're like, hey, good stuff. But I applaud what I saw Saturday, and I'm looking forward to Monday. So let's go. Things up, Rattler. Shout out Coach Crary, Milton Matthews hitting the game winner, going to the basket with an easy layup. No defense. Anyway, that's all I got.
Yeah. Can I take us out with this commercial as we get ready to play the close out?
For sure. Hit the thumbs up and the like button wherever you are. Make sure you're following us on our social media platforms. Share the show, please. Share the show. Go check out the BCSN Pod Zone. All of the shows part of the Black College Sports Network. Our show, Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, the O&G Strike Zone on Wednesdays, Carlos Brown Show. All of the shows that are part of the Black College Sports Network. BCSN Pod Zone. Go Chiefs. See y'all later.
Stay on